Hey, y'all. Sorry, I'm early again, but I just want to get this moving and get it over with because I want to keep it short, condensed, to the point, and get through this. Buckle up. We're going to get into some content. We're going to review Down the Rabbit Holes video with Dragnauct from 2 nights ago. Last night, 2 nights ago. What day is it? Anyways, we're going to review her stream with her permission and get into it because there's a few things that I wanted to point out that really caught me through this. So let's go.
You're beautiful but unsatisfied since day one. You were getting teased and it scarred you when you were young. Now you're getting older and you've been on the grind. Your paper off the scale so you feel like it's time. So you got a nose job, that's the primary thing. People tease you as a kid and for some reason you hit. Always into high fashion, girl, you heavy like lead. Liposuction out your shell like a chicken and egg. Feeling confident but now you're becoming obsessed. First your nose, then your weight, now your butt and your breast. It's a Vanity Fair, cosmetic overdose. Fiending for a next operation like it was dope. Now you feel the need to skin pill, your skin's no good. But if those around you were real, they'll tell you the truth. Just because you spending thousands, that don't make it alright. Had one problem, now it's many going under the knife. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on. Vanity Fair, yeah. Changing one or two things, cool, girl, do you? Do you wanna be beautiful and look like you? Or do you wanna look like someone you saw in a magazine or video, but not in the raw? I like nice shaped bodies, bikinis Brazilian, but too much of anything just isn't appealing. Some people spend a lifetime, even a million. No grace like those unhappy with chilling. A girl with a big butt, big lips, small hips is what we all love to see, and men dream about this. There is nothing wrong with getting something broken fixed. Some women get a breast job cause cancer resists. Some women want to please their man and insist. And a woman really loves you if she wants to do this. But abuse ain't the same as intention with care. So be careful of the drug called the Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, faceline, look at your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on.
Hey, y'all. Oh, hold on. I'll take her off the screen for a moment. First of all, Kate and Claus, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. I saw that happen. Thank you so much. So for those of you that got gifted a membership, welcome to the cabana. Find the button. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
Welcome to the cabana. All right. Let me go back up here. Stargazer, TLC, Cool Gamer, Marcy, Self-Proclaimed Detective, Kitten Claus, Clarice, Was That Justice, The Good Gumby, Peg, Sharkbait, Trio Monkey, Saucy, CK Warhola, Peg, Grandma Sherry, Texas Tiff. Make sure I don't miss anybody in here. Miss Lee. Oh, the birds are squawking tonight. They sure are. All right. BJ, Cheryl, Beer Can Island, Brenda, Sally. Hello, everybody. Okay, we're going to hop into it. I'm going to get through it, get it over with. This is some great content. And there were some things that I think that I picked up on that I might not have realized before watching this interview. if you guys don't know what we're doing, Rabbit from Down the Rabbit Hole News did a great interview with Dragnauct. Dragnauct, I think is how I think they just call him Drag mostly. Drag is from communities that go way back years ago, which I'm not going to even try to explain. I'm going to let him explain because it's confusing. Be prepared though. He's hysterical. So you're going to laugh probably inappropriately like I did. But there's a lot of great things in this interview. So with Rabbit's blessing, we are going to review her stream because I think it's so spot on. And I think more people need to understand that this is a pattern here that has been happening. But there's a few things that I want to point out. Grandma Sherry, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the cabana one more time.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got
Oh my gosh, Sharkbait. He is hysterical. I agree. Hey, Bama. Yes. And super smart. But it was just really telling. Like I was really confused by, not by his statements, but I was like, wait, this isn't what I had heard. So let's get into it. And by the way, this is, if you haven't heard, I did a little short video asking what the hell the YBI was, I think like 3 weeks ago or something. Because Uni had been shouting them out in his videos. Like in the past, he actually claims that he contacted people in regards to this fraud raiser situation, that term that he uses. Again, that's a him term. Nobody else really uses it that I know of. But I wanted to bring it back so we can understand a little bit more of the history here. Let's go. This is our lovely Rabbit. As you guys don't know, I'm going to drop her channel in the comment section. It's also all linked in the description. Drag's channel and Rabbit's channel are both linked in the description too. So please make sure you sub up to them. Please go make sure you give her some love on her videos, so on and so forth. You know the drill. Let's go.
On it.
We're going to open up right here.
Oh man. Are,
Happy birthday.
are we already spicy? Come on, Menace. Nate would have talked with you, I'm sure. Nate and Drag are friends, and Drag knows some of the story, but not as much as Nate, who is big. I haven't even started. Can I start with my intro? Can I tell y'all what which, by the way, shout out to you, Menace, okay?
I love Rabbit. She's just so fun.
It's called the YBI, not the UTI, my love. Stacy, get it together. Get it together.
That's why I had
Get it together, all right? Let me tell you why I thought this was a very important yet informative live, okay? I met Dragnauct through Queen Bee's panel. He was there and he answered a couple questions. I had heard about the YBI. The YBI stands for the YouTube Bureau of Investigations. All right. Now, it was very easy for me to sit there and because
by the way, if you're looking for the specific video that Uni talks about the YBI, it is from August 10th, 2022.
I did criticize several people that, allegedly are part of the group. Okay. Uni Rock is one of them. I very much criticize you guys already know I criticized him last September. He didn't take the criticism very well. So, I had to, do my thing. And I said, I'm going to research about this YBI because Mr. Uni Rock had mentioned it. He tends to mention it a lot when there are fundraisers that he wants to bust. So respectfully, I have a guest. Shout out to Drag. He's in the back studio. I'm gonna bring him up. I have several questions, and I wanted this to be both educational and informative. One thing that in my
I don't know why it's fuzzing her so bad on my end. I'm sorry if it's fuzzing her on your guys' end too. I don't know what's happening here, but sorry.
Conversation with Drag that I had was
I don't know what's going on.
He holds. It is what it is. And you know what? I can always appreciate somebody who comes with it, with the it is what it is. How are you, Drag?
Hey, how you doing? I had to make sure the stream was muted. Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, you were muted?
Oh, no. I had up the watch link, and I didn't realize it while I was trying to get OBS working. I was like, oh, okay, why do I hear an echo? That's why.
Again, this is Drag is what I'm going to call him because I don't want to butcher the full name. His channel link is in the comment section in the description below too, and I will link him as we go.
Yeah.
Get it together. Get it together, Drag.
I should know after all this time. I should know better. But,
I know, right? You should know. What are you doing? I mean, you guys have been here doing this longer. So listen, I already have someone in the chat who said I should have spoke to Nate, the lawyer.
Yeah, and I saw that. That was Menace, and I agree with Menace. The issue is that Nate is incredibly busy, and he's not going to come on. I can tell you right now, he's in the process of moving. A lot of people may not know that he and I will be 45-minute neighbors, I guess you could say. So, so yeah, he is incredibly busy with that. He's barely uploading stuff to his own channel, so he doesn't really have time for a whole bunch of nonsense like this. So, but nonsense. I do. So there we go.
No, and I appreciate, and not only that, I didn't invite him. I invited you. So respectfully, you're my guest, and it is what it is. And make sure we're going to be respectful in my chat. You got some people, I mean, you did tell me you had some trolls.
That's okay. There's still a lot of butthurt people out there, but it's fine.
I'm like, all right.
Everybody's offended. That's okay. They can be
fine. Yes, mods, please time them out, remove them, do what you got to do. If you're not respectful in my house, you're not welcome. So it is what it is. And I have a feeling that some of these people are coming from various camps that I'm very familiar with. So.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Drag, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what got you in this whole internet game? Give me a little.
Oh, wow.
I know that's a loaded question, right?
Wow. Back in, I would say, 2012, I was in the military. I needed an outlet. I love discussing theology, religion, science, philosophy.
I don't know if he'll ever hear this or not, but thank you for your service.
And so I entered different communities. First it was like Yahoo Answers, and then I made my way to, at the time, it was Google Plus. And so there used to be a loose group of people that we referred to ourselves as the Great Debate Community. And so we would debate religion and science and that sort of thing for hours every day. And so that's where a lot of us encountered, Nate the lawyer, came on, and a whole bunch of people. And so that fell apart around 2017, whatever. I then encountered Uni Rock because he was an attack dog of sorts from somebody from that same community. And so
he just said he was an attack dog from somebody for that community. Like Uni was an attack dog of somebody within that community. That stood out to me because I was like, huh.
First introduction to him was someone had sent me, a few people had sent me a message and said, hey, there's this Uni Rock guy and he's talking trash about you. And I said, the fuck is a Uni Rock? What is it? That sounds like a disease. What is going on here? And so they sent me a link. And I'm out eating dinner with my buddy Xavier, and I'm listening to this guy, and I learned all type of fun things about myself. I live in my mother's basement. I've never touched a woman in my life, and I'm just like, who is this erratic squirrel that evidently needs a more love from his parents or more therapy or something? And so, I popped up in the chat, and I was like, hey, bro, what's going on? You really don't know me, do you? And so, by the way, I'm at the same time like completing different degrees and stuff like that, like outside of YouTube. And so I'm spending time talking to idiots and then working on what now I need to still finish my master's in molecular.
This, you guys probably can't hear me with this on. This shit's gonna get deep. And if you are trying to figure out why Rabbit looks like she's holding her breath, it's because she was trying to keep a straight face many times. That's why I'm saying, like, oh shit. This will get really, it's hysterical. He is a funny man.
The biotechnology. So
let me stop right there. You are a professional. When I heard that you had this, like, it's not like a little science degree. No, you are a smart, intelligent man. Because I'm like, he said biology, something that I failed like 15 times in school. But go ahead.
Yeah. So like during the daytime, essentially, I would be making fun of lolcows and people who are incredibly dysfunctional and sensitive on the internet. Well, actually more so in the evenings. And then throughout the day, I was a biochemistry teaching assistant. I was doing research with CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology. So even though my degree was in like molecular biology and biotechnology, the research I was doing was biochemistry based. And so I know it's a weird juxtaposition of interest, but it was something to do at the time. But so
one thing I have learned about listening to all these people from the past, there was a lot of very professional, intelligent, articulate people around certain communities. Like he mentioned the Great Debate. Now, there's some that I won't speak on or even mention because I find them to be clownish, but there was a lot of people involved in that are very, very educated, very upstanding, professional, very professional human beings too. So there's like, let's continue and I'll explain a little bit more.
While I was doing that, I encountered Uni Rock, and I learned that he was a fellow veteran, and so that was something that he and I.
Y'all be nice to Drag in the comments. I know poor ladies over here are like, woo, there's a good looking one for once. Okay, we can look at this.
I kind of sort of discussed, but I noticed that there was a really weird way that he would go about sort of trying to make amends, because after he was done being this guy's attack dog, I know I'm skipping around the place, he then became best friends with me, unbeknownst to me and Nate. There are screenshots still on Twitter of Uni Rock saying Nate's a criminal, he's a career criminal, and repeating all type of slanderous things that certain other people have said that's just absolutely not true. And so
Nate, the lawyer who was a former cop, prosecutor,
yes,
attorney who's busy
law professor,
law.
Did you guys know that? Sorry, don't mean to cut Rabbit off again, but from everything, and mind you, my time frame on this is so much shorter than a lot of you. A lot of you guys have been around forever, have known these communities, have been a part of these communities. I have always heard Uni speak so highly of Nate when he needs credibility or he needs somebody like a name to drop that gives something credibility. Did you guys know that? Drop me a 1 in the chat if that's easier, if you knew that happened. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, that blew my mind. You knew, Chaos. You knew too, Just Lilo. See, crazy how things just are skirted over.
Professor, shout out to I love Nate the lawyer. Number one, I watch his stuff. He's got a gazillion people in his chat. I love that he stops by and recognizes us little people, because he'll stop by here. He stopped by before my chat. He seems like a very great guy. I don't know him personally, but
he's okay. He puts ketchup on his steak. That's terrible. If y'all didn't know this.
Who puts ketchup? Oh, that's it.
Nate. Yeah. Oh no, I bust this shit all the time about that on Twitter. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Who puts ketchup on their steak?
He does. I have a picture of it. I have to find it, but yeah.
Drag, you have to tell me about that one. Well, anyways, I want to go back a little bit to the YBI. Who created? First of all, what was the idea behind the YBI? Well, why was that even created?
So I learned about the YBI through Nate. Like, I've been familiar with Uni Rock's little circle, and I was like, I said something's off, because I'm talking to Nate off air, and I'm like, there's no way this meth head with a mouth really can do all this research. There's something going on. And he explained to me that there are very competent people, and they do great work, from what I've seen, from what I've experienced. And I interacted with a few of them. Menace was a part of that at one point. A lot of y'all know Navy Tech. They do very diligent work.
I want to pause it right there, because I know there's been this back and forth drama. They've been calling me out. I have to give them credit, though, because I have always said that I thought Menace was a great creator. I think Navy's a wonderful stand-up man. I have always said those things. Now, I do have questions on some of the things that have happened over the years, but it's not personal for me. Those guys do seem like decent human beings, and I know that they really try to seek out answers for certain things. I will say that. I've seen them do a lot of work and somebody else take credit for it. Maybe that's what I should say.
And through their work, their combined efforts, right? And Nate the lawyer, and working in concert, they actually exposed probably 3 or 4 different fraud raisers, as they're now called, and they even got a confession out of
On
one of the
YouTube.
chicks. On YouTube, and it was a recorded confession, and so it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But they are the brains behind that. Like, you hear that phrase a lot, but a lot of people don't know. They do, and they've created all these Excel sheets and these documents, and they got these links and stuff. And I've seen some of it, and it is thorough, very thorough.
We actually looked at one of those spreadsheets the other day. And the reason I did that was not to discredit the work of the people that did the spreadsheet. I was talking about how Uni used that information and made it into something of a personal attack against a certain creator. Granted, there was a bunch of people involved in that, but the way he took the information that other people had really worked on and kind of used it to misinform or inflate what was actually happening was my issue with it.
Incredibly thorough. And so there's obviously a disconnect. So I'm like, they have these very competent people who are taking their time to volunteer. They're rallying behind, this meth head. And so I'm just saying that to be because he doesn't actually do meth. But they're this really erratic guy who can't seem to stick to one point. And so what's happening? And so I spoke to Uni Rock because he knows I don't care for him. There's different stories and stuff from my actual real life interactions with other YouTubers that he's taken and just misrepresented. People have tried to correct him on and say, "Hey, bro, that's not what happened," and he doesn't care. All right, and so my audience said they just frequently lie. So that.
Okay, first of all, that was spot on with the impersonation. I hate to say it, but that was spot on. And secondly, that's what we've been seeing time and time again. He takes information that he thinks is going on and he inflates it, making it misinformation. And then when he's corrected on it, he doubles down, triples down. A lot of times he avoids correcting it. Just like, even for instance, current situation of my own, which you guys know about, but the Betty phone call that he claims was doxing me. And he continued to use that to tell his story, to make his story look, I don't even know, but he obviously has a history of this, a history. And it's not just been me. He's blatantly lied on Rabbit. He's blatantly lied on Queen Bee. He's blatantly lied on Nunya. He's blatantly lied on pretty much everybody that has asked questions or said anything as of recently. Heels in the air. I mean, the list goes on and on.
I'm done. Listen to a 3-hour stream of his, and that's 90% of it. Okay. And so I'm
done.
And so he said, "Oh, Jack, why can't we be buddies? Why can't we be buddies?" I said,
"Oh my God,
you were an attack dog."
Okay, I just gotta give props to Rabbit though, because I was sitting there, I was laughing at the impression, but I was cracking the hell up because the way she would go and try to keep a straight face. Oh, you gotta love him.
For somebody making up stuff about me, I called you out and you blocked me. Rather than say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? People showed me some stuff. Yeah, old boy was lying. I want to kind of make amends." I mean, that's what most normal, logical, self-aware adults do. Not Uni Rock. He sends one of his fucking peons to me. "Hey, Uni Rock wants to be your friend." Yeah, I was like, "Then tell that bitch to unblock me and don't send a fucking crony to tell me." And so eventually that message got to him, and my bad. I just kind of forgot. I don't know how to operate this thing. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, well, clearly. So
again, think of recent days of as soon as he was confronted on something. "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I tagged her. I did this. I did that." Constant excuses instead of just hitting it flat on and saying, "I fucked up. I'm sorry." There was so many excuses that came off of that. So another thing that is just who he is.
From there, you would think that you would try to contact the other creator and just talk to them, privately, have a call or just chat. Nothing. The only time that Uni Rock wants to communicate is when he's on stream and putting on a performance for his audience. "Oh yeah, we're best friends, bitch. We don't talk outside of your streams. Why are we friends? I'm actual friends with Nate the Lawyer. We hang out. He's met my family. He's met we sat down literally and broken bread together. I'm Nate's friend." But then I keep hearing people say that Uni Rock's saying that, "Oh yeah, me and Nate are best buddies." When's the last time Nate's even said this guy's name? When the last time anybody's really said his name other than to call out the bullshit? And so, you know, I got a message. I'm fast forwarding kind of to now. I got a message from someone in my Discord saying, "Hey, you hear what's going on with Uni Rock?" I said, "What now? He's still erratic?" Well, yeah, outside of that, people are starting to call him out again. And so
again, y'all, I almost feel dumb in ways that I did not see this stuff in the patterns and all the history before all of this. I didn't even have time to look into it, but he's right. Again, it has happened in every single place Uni goes. And Uni will say himself, "Oh, there's always problems. This happens to me every time." Guess who the common denominator is? Uni. Guess who never takes accountability for his actions? Uni. Guess who's always impacted by his behavior? Everyone around him. The ripple effect off of his behavior is a lot.
A few weeks
He's right on though.
prior, some people from like the Uni camp has said, "Hey, Drag, where's that old video of you talking about Uni Rock?" And that's the video that I sent you that was 2 years ago. And so you saw a lot of the same criticisms that I had about him are still true now. He just
that didn't age very well, and that was literally 2 years ago. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's at the center of why he and I have spoken publicly and privately about why I don't like it. Is that he just makes shit up, and so there were
again. I'm going to highlight the fact that he just said he just makes shit up. Now you don't have to take his word for it, my word for it, Rabbit's word for it, anybody's word for it. You can go see how he does these things. You just have to sit there for 30 minutes of absolute insanity to see it, but you'll get there.
People kind of in the Dragnauct camp and in the Uni Rock camp, the cult. And so they were talking, say, "Hey, I like both creators. I want to choose." And I'm like, "You don't have to. It's not fucking high school. You don't have to like everybody I like. But for some people, that's a lot. You can't tell them to be adults." And so what ended up happening was one of his cronies went over and told him, "Hey, Drag wants to chat." Because I said, "Look, I'm not going to go in his fucking weird cult Discord and try and talk to him. And no, if he wants to make amends, if he wants to resolve whatever issues that we have, then I need some absolute clarity on quite a few things. And so if he can man up and just come talk to me, then maybe we can get it resolved."
Well, let me stop you right here, okay? Because so then you have the YPI, right?
Yeah.
Intelligent people, professionals. Nate kind of runs this, right? And he gets everybody together. Who decided to say this Uni Rock over here?
By the way, there is a YBI account on YouTube. Yes, I do know who runs it because unfortunately, whether they wanted it out there or not, Uni put it out there. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is. I'm not going to play the stream with who he names, but this is kind of a warning. If that person doesn't want anybody to know, they might want to get in contact because there is in many videos where he does name the account holder of who actually runs that. I don't know the affiliation of that person. I don't know how all of that inner workings goes. I do know that there's a lot of videos on that account still that are actually very informative. Very informative. There's not any, it doesn't seem to be anything over the top, just, old streams that you can go watch for yourself.
Is a great addition to, how did that even go down?
So they are just part of what they call the Uni fam. So Nate was always a part of the great debate community, but our communities intersected because of a common person that you and I had talked about, that Uni Rock was an attack dog for. That's how Nate got involved. But
hearing him say that Uni was an attack dog for that specific person that shall not be named is so interesting to me. But
and so because Nate is a lawyer and he knows the law, and it just so happened a lot of the fraud rage and stuff kind of intersected with some things that he had already been familiar with.
It's definitely not our Nunya. It's not our Nunya. This account has been around a lot longer than me and Nunya have had YouTube craziness. It's not Nunya this time. She's not to blame.
There was a collaboration between Nate and the YBI. And so through their collaborations, the fraud raisers were brought to light. And it was a beautiful, beautiful collaboration, in fact. Yes. And it kind of shook the foundation of the flat earth community, because a lot of these fraud raisers were hosted by major creators in the flat earth community. That's why a lot of them have parted ways because there was a lot of lying, obviously. So that's something that I had sort of learned a bit later. But Nate was never, I guess, formally a part of it. He just collaborated with them, but they had always existed in some form to support Uni Rock and the streams that he does.
So there were some streams I know from those 2-3 years where he invites Nate or invites one of you guys or whatever to sit up and talk about it. And you guys, and they're very lengthy streams where I could hear Nate the lawyer, and shout out to him again, where he's kind of giving updates about what's going on, what's the scope and the deal with this situation. And so that he's kind of, but did he provide any actual research outside of just calling something a fraud?
As far as Uni Rock providing,
yes,
Uni Rock doesn't do shit. If he provided anything, it's unbeknownst to me.
But he's so busy all day long, every day, doing research, compiling evidence. That's all we ever hear, working on a documentary. He's so busy. He has no time to accomplish anything. I mean, we all kind of figured that was blowing smoke up our asses, I would assume, but I guess that's been a constant too.
I don't actually, that's why I give a lot of credit to the YBI. I'm not familiar with anything that Uni Rock himself has gone on and looked up outside of what was already handed to him. I'm unfamiliar with any of it. It may just be I was not in the know or in the collective enough, because admittedly, while I was sort of hanging around them, I kept arm's length because they're just fucking weird ass people. And so other than talking to specific members of the YBI, Menace, and a few others, I kept them at arm's length, but I am unfamiliar with anything that Uni Rock himself did at all. Because, and I'll tell you, I've seen the stuff that they provide. Like, I've seen the receipts, and then I've watched the streams that he's done. And that's where the disconnect happened, at least for me, where I recognize it, where he's just he's creating a Cliff Notes version. That's what I want to say. There's a Cliff Notes version that he just sort of, I guess, creates midstream, mid-thought, and then runs with that. And that's one of the things that he and I spoke about. That's like, why are you, and perfect example, there was a debate that he had with one of the flat earthers that were involved with the frauds. There were claims of racism. There was all types of different claims. And these guys, they did their research. They were providing certain things. They say, hey, don't go here, go there. And he just ignored the fuck out of it. Like it didn't matter. And he did terrible, obviously. And so, like, after kind of like doing an after action review, you're asking, so why, oh, well, I didn't really care about those points anyway. Well, I just wanted to get to the main one. Okay.
I can't with you, right?
It's all right.
I'm gonna need look. So, okay. So Uni Rock himself, has he actually busted a fraud?
But by himself?
Like by himself, or any for that matter?
If he has, that's news to me.
But what did we all hear coming into this? We. This is the we. This is the back end of the we. Instead of saying I and we, he should have said they. They.
I mean, possibly, but I'm unfamiliar with any.
So it sounds like he just kind of attached himself to various people.
Yeah. I mean, all creators sort of lean on people to give them videos and stuff like that. But I don't know if he would have a show or any type of credibility if it wasn't for the YBI. I give them all the credit. That's why I struggle to really, say anything or besmirch their name or anything like that, because they do good work. And
I have to bank off that too, because I agree with him in current situation. I will say that I had great interactions with Navy and Sharif, mods of his, who were really trying to get the facts out there on Marvan's story. To me, they really were working hard. Now, once they handed that information over to Uni, it just kind of went from there. But again, I'm not going to disparage them. And I have the personal shit, all of that stuff, whatever. But they do really seem to be focused on trying to gather facts, and they're very, very dedicated to it. They bust their asses for Uni. I don't even think you guys understand how much they bust their ass on behalf of him.
And they genuinely are trying to help people, and a lot of them, are they're folks of integrity, from what I can tell.
Right.
I still, feel some type of way that they're kind of complicit in Uni Rock's bullshit, but it happens. You become beholden to people.
I will say that I agree there too, though. Again, sorry, I'm pausing, but I want to point out that there's a level of accountability, though, when you are co-signing, even when you know that it's misinformation. It was factual information, and then when he twisted it, it made it misinformation. And when you sit by time and time again, I start to side-eye the shit out of you. So I know that they do good work, but I just don't quite understand why the coddling of Uni. And I will say it's coddling of him in so many ways. And we'll look at a stream tomorrow that shows it on a big scale.
When you have the best version of them, you have the best vision of them, and it happens. It happens to anybody who has had a loyal group of people behind them for any point in time. So
absolutely, and I'm so glad you say that, because like I don't want to disparage, say, Navy Tech or Menace, who might have put in some work to this, because of my feelings towards how Uni Rock has maybe dealt with the situation, or what he, how he associates himself to that, right? So I appreciate you kind of giving me the breakdown of this. Not only that, but to correct any misconceptions that I might have, or that the audience might have, about how exactly this is run. I really wanted to get to the deets of this, because it did bother me, because I do authentically like some of these people.
Some of them are good people.
Yeah, I do. I don't agree with their support of various people, clearly, but I don't have anything against them. So I was like, well, let me be a little bit vulnerable.
Are they trying to figure out the members of the YBI? Y'all, none of us are members. If they want to identify themselves in the comments, I don't even know if any of them are here or not. We're not identifying who is a part. Like, I don't know if there's a member sign up sheet, if there's like a participation ribbons that were handed out. Like, I don't know the details. I know that, he's name dropped a few people Uni has in his streams that supposedly were a part of it, account holders and so on and so forth. But I think they prefer to be anonymous, which this isn't about them. This is about his behavior and kind of like how he uses other people's work and hard work. And it honestly kind of backfires and discredits them too. So this is about Uni's behavior. We're going to leave them in the, if that makes sense.
Take your molecular brain and get your
I'll tell you.
Let me get your stuff, and because I really just wanted to understand the basis and the goal of the YBI, right? Yeah. And if there's good things happening in various YouTube communities, such as people getting together and saying, I'm gonna call out that person and that person for locale, or whatever it may be, or at least to bring awareness, I'm down for it. But what I'm not down for is misinformation, and then somebody using a name drop or somebody's credibility to allow that to happen.
Right.
And that's what I see that he's done.
Yeah, I mean that's Uni Rock. I mean, he'll use my name. He'll use. I think at one point someone told me he was using. Several people told me he was using Burnt Toast's name, and I'm like,
yeah.
And Burnt Toast and I had a conversation about that.
Speaking of Burnt Toast, she will be going live in just a few. If you want to go join her, I love Burnt Toast. Y'all know she does great streams. So again, shout out to Burnt Toast. But Uni was using her name. I thought they had a relationship. I thought somehow they were connected, talked, knew each other too. I didn't know until recently.
And I said, watch. And Burnt Toast would tell you, I said, watch what's going to happen. This, and this. And one thing, like the random name dropping, the claim that they're friends.
No, that's his sister.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like they've never. Not to find out. They never actually had a conversation like you and I had the other day. He just does that because he feels it gives him credibility. And if someone in her audience or your audience hears that, they go, "Oh, okay, cool." Then Burnt Toast, they're friends. Okay, now we'll subscribe to him and watch him. And they're none the wiser. But the thing is, Uni Rock's like cult fan base, they're conditioned not to correct him. They're conditioned not to say, "Wait."
I love the fact that he says the cult. They're conditioned not to question him. They all have their duties. And, I can't blame them either, because when you have poured blood, sweat, and tears into something, time, energy, yes, it's YouTube, but people take this very seriously when they're trying to call out others. So when you pour so much time and effort into something, and then you have him, throwing shade at it, big, small, making it misinformation, that discredits them too. So yes, it's conditioning of them to not question him, but it's also a slap in the face to them at the same time. So they're trying to protect the work that they've done too. It's a complicated situation, but it is very, very clear that they're not to question him. And if anybody else questions him, they come in to kick into high gear.
I don't know if they've actually spoken. Are they actually cool? They're conditioned not to ask those type of questions to even go there.
Oh.
And if no one believes me, just sit back and watch a stream. Just sit back. Don't say anything. Just sit back and watch. And you'll see it yourself.
Do you, so with the YBI, does the YBI go real life?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't like doxing people and stuff like that.
Yes.
No, I'm not if something like that has happened, I'd be shocked. If
there is a scam that has been identified, right? I'm hearing, and just to correct this, my misconceptions, because there's people that have said, well, there was a confession that was obtained, right? So would that essentially been given to the authorities? Would you equate that to real life? I guess that's my question to that.
That's actually a good question. I'm trying to remember. I think because
Emery Against Evil, this is Drag. It's a Dragnauct. His description and channel link is his description. His channel link is in my description of the video. He is wonderful. He's been around for years and years and years. I just recently learned of him throughout all of this, and his involvement or how he connected to all these people. Go check out his channel.
Was I forgot what level of misdemeanor felony, because it was that type of actual crime that occurred. I think it might have been reported to some degree, but to me, that's on the same level as if you see someone abusing their child.
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to sit there? Well, you know what? I'm not going to go in real life. Obviously, you're going to say something, right? It's
Absolutely.
not like doxing because you're trying to intimidate someone. There's a crime that's occurred. I'm going to report it.
Gotcha.
So I draw a huge distinction there.
I hear you. So it was like,
and I want to piggyback off that too. The same thing kind of happened with the Letitia, Dre, Marvon situation. So there was a lot of people that were requesting refunds on the donations that they had sent after all the questions had came out. We as YouTubers, I guess that's what you call us. I don't even know, assholes on the internet, whatever you want to call us. There's only so much we can do. Those aren't situations that I personally really got involved in, because they have to report it to their agency, and then, it goes from there. So there's the line there, and Uni doesn't seem to understand that, in my opinion.
It's necessary because
it was an actual crime.
It was an actual crime. Okay. Yeah. So, and I would assume that there would have been like information collect. I hate the word evidence because we misuse it here in this community a lot.
Empirical evidence was obtained.
Thank you. I like that better.
Yes, empirical evidence was obtained. Yes.
Can you explain what empirical evidence is to the audience, please?
So when people say evidence, it's somewhat kind of a nebulous term. There's anecdotal evidence where I tell you, hey, there's a dragon in my garage. Believe me, because I'm telling you, it's my personal experience. Now, if I bring you a scale from the dragon, here, go send it to a lab and check it out. That's empirical evidence. And so I like to give people those examples to help sort of,
Thank you.
Get to differentiate the two.
Was there any point, here you are kind of, because I would assume that some of this information, some content is very delicate, right? Because you're talking about exposing people or calling someone out. Was there ever a point where Uni Rock is reporting some of the YBI stuff and you felt like this guy's not trustworthy, or this guy is like totally going off of this in a different way, and you're having to correct some of that?
Oh, all the time. Anytime I listen to him. There's never been one time that I've actually listened to Uni Rock and felt that he accurately, at least to like within a margin of error, right? We all make mistakes, but there's never been a time where I went, you know what? He's on the money with that. Never. Not one time. It's actually a fun game that we used to play. It's kind of a side topic. When Uni Rock would come on Nate's channel, when we were discussing another legal case dealing with YouTube channels, we would play a bit of a game, and it was remember what Uni Rock said. And so Uni Rock doesn't have anything of substance to ever offer.
Y'all, we are not ever playing that game. Don't get any ideas that we're going to try to play that game, because all I hear is blah, 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 docs, blah, 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 docs, blah, 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 harass, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's all. Like, we can't ever do that, because that's all I get out of it in vet bashing.
Any conversation when he's talking to someone. And so no one can ever remember any points that he made. And so we will all go around asking, do you remember a point that he made? Because it's nothing. It's a huge nothing burger. There's a whole lot of talking, right? There's a lot of speculation, and that's what he's best for, is just offering baseless speculation and trying to put it forth almost as if it was fact, without any, not prefacing it, no caveats, nothing. And so if you're willing to be that loose with your rhetoric and that loose with the truth, then you can't really be trusted as a source of information.
So these spreadsheets, I believe Nonsense has shown, there's a couple of people have shown, Uni Rock actually recently showed a spreadsheet, right? Was that something that was, I'm assuming it was created by the YBI. Was there a group consensus to allow Uni Rock to use this, or did he just take the ish and then just say, I'm gonna make content off of this?
It was sort of agreed upon, because, you know, the YBI really, they were at the helm of it. I mean, it's only appropriate that, you know, Uni Rock kind of expose it. Like
I'm going to pause it because I want you guys to look at this comment on the screen. To Menace. So it started when a couple guys, Dono Bros. First of all, who the hell named the Dono Girls? Did you name the Dono Girls? Does anybody know? Any of the Dono Girls? I don't even know if they're still around. They've all kind of like, phew. I don't know where that name ever came from, but last night when we saw that, I know a lot of us started going, wait a second. So originally they were called the Dono Bros. Is that why they called the group of girls the Dono Girls with this whole situation? Just odd. But yeah, they started a spreadsheet of fundraisers after they got suspicious with their community, so they didn't want to out themselves and get harassed. They've pretty much remained anonymous.
I did something on my channel for it as well, but I mean, it was sort of their baby, since I think they did the bulk of the work. So, you know, give it to their, you know, patron deity, Uni Rock.
I'm going to have.
While this content was going on, was anybody going, and please, that's fine if you don't name names, but were there people that, I'm assuming you guys are ready for any attack that you get while you're exposing stuff like this, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. There was tons of folks, but it was kind of weird, because there are certain people who feel comfortable jumping on Slack accounts saying this, that, and the other, while other people will
just had a couple right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just the internet. But you know, there are a few that.
By the way, I pity the fool that tries to troll Rabbit. Have you seen her mods? They don't put up with the ish from anybody. Not smart.
So
dumb.
Were named in the actual document and had great concerns. And I had to explain to them that you need to calm down. I'm also named in that document. So, you know, it really showed you who was paying attention and where the concern was, because if there's no malfeasance going on, then why do you have a concern, right? And so it's, you know, hit dogs holler. It was kind of one of those policies. But, you know, outside of that, you know, you had certain people trying to obfuscate because they felt like if you scratched too close to the surface, then other things would unravel. And sure enough, there was more. And it seemed, from my recollection, to be only the people that knew that they were in the wrong that actually had a big issue with it.
I see. So let's say that, I don't know, I decided to contact someone from the YBI back then, because you guys aren't together anymore, right? Everybody's kind of their own separate ways.
Some of them are doing different things at different members, and I didn't keep a running tally or roster of who they were. So why, better, you know.
No, and I hear you, but about 8 months ago, I think, I have the clip, I have to upload it. Uni said that he contacted the YBI on the MGL situation. So I'm thinking, would that have been Nate the lawyer, or somebody else in that? you know, in that he was guided through the process of what people needed to do, you know, fill out police forms and, you know, or document. They're going to document.
He actually, in that stream, again, it's from August 10th, 2022. You can go watch it yourself if you want to. It's kind of mind numbing. But Uni in that clip says that he reached out to Nate in regarding the Marvon story. He reached out to Nate, he specifically says.
There was a lot of documentation. When I sit back and I review some of that old content, it's always a lot of documentation that Uni is doing in addition to hosting the show. So I'm just kind of wondering, right? As like my auditor hat is on. I'm just like, what the hell are you documenting, right? Like, what is there outside of just giving content and people independently filing police reports for whatever situation was going on? What other documentation would anybody have to do when the YBI is involved?
I don't know. That they do the bulk of the work. I'm not sure what, unless he's making his own cliff notes for a show. Like, I don't know what the fact that he's not explaining, like being or very, very, very explicit with what he is doing, right? That kind of tells me it's bullshit. Because you think about it, if I had a team of researchers and I say, hey, we're all going to research this microbe, and they're all, you know, categorizing the morphology. Someone's doing, you know, enzymatic activity, yada 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 yada, and I go, yeah, I'm going to document stuff.
What is he talking about?
How does that help the overall effort if I'm not explicit with what I'm doing? So that for me, in Uni speak, it sounds like bullshit.
Sorry, got distracted. Somebody said he's making a documentary. Okay.
What? That has to be a joke, right?
That was me that said that, and he says that in almost all of his streams. He's making a documentary. I'm working on a documentary. When the documentary comes out, it's going to take me forever. Blah 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 blah. I'm going to pull one of those streams up in a minute and let you guys hear some of this stuff out of his own mouth. But this is so spot on to what we are seeing currently too.
Joking.
No, he did say he was making a documentary. I am not.
On what?
Hey, Lane.
On his experience
Hello.
with this whole situation. Matter of fact, I have a clip here and I'm going to play it for you. Okay. And I want you to tell me what your thoughts are about this little situation right here. See if I can. Oh, it's muted.
Look at this.
Kathy P says, and anything and everything. I'm sick of LB acting so innocent. She's just as bad. She's just as bad and was right there with them. So now things are being called out and she's distancing. Nope, too late. Oh, I know. And then Leslie Bass is lying on me. She's being slanderous and defamatory towards me. Now, lucky for her, I don't play the threatening lawsuits and all that dumb shit game.
Which he is, by the way. Give me 1 second. This is the wrong clip.
And I've listened to him threaten lawsuits before.
All the time.
I'm
like, yo, you this didn't age very well. Hold up. I got another clip. Let me share it.
That's just a bald-faced lie, but okay.
I can't, let me see if I can find it.
Did anybody in his chat go, wait, Uni Rock, you
Shiloh, I definitely think so. I think he banks off of other people's credibility that come out with facts and proof, and then he name drops those people time and time again to give himself credibility of the stories he's telling. Absolutely 100%. There's a really important piece, though, that I want this to get to, because there was things that just lit off.
You remember about 2 years ago when you and another creator got into it, you were threatening to sue because they threatened your channel?
Oh, my gosh. Right. Hold up. Is this it?
Yeah.
Hold up. One second.
Sheila, absolutely. They were all lying.
I'm looking at minutes. So the white guys kind of, they dissipated. Oh, wow.
What was that?
Evidently, they all broke up.
They did?
Yeah, according to Minutes, they got to get the band back together. Uni Rock's not going to have a show anymore.
So the YBI, according to what Menace was telling them in the comments, has all kind of scattered and dissipated apart. Granted, there's pieces of it that I still think, interact together, but it's not necessarily the group like it was.
That's not true. You just fraud.
I can't with you, yo. I'm about to kick you.
We got 2.5 more hours of that, man, and the show's over. We're going to do another stream. We're going to do a rocket like guys. Rocket like 2. Go on, huh?
All right, I found the clip. You know, I'm supposed to get my Barbara Walters on, and you ain't doing shit for me right now, Drag. You need to.
Rabbit's over here trying to be Barbara Walters, turning into damn Jerry Springer. Rest in peace, Jerry Springer. But
I need to get my Barbara Walters, my Erin Moriarty on, and you're just messing this up because you got me laughing. But thank you. Let me hit play on this.
oh my god!
Oh, here we
So
go.
we realized that a group of scammers had been running a ring of fraudulent fundraisers, and that they had come and asked me to cover their community. What I didn't know when I went and covered their community was that they were doing all these fraud raisers. So we put together the YBI, which was a group of people that had been stolen from who wanted to help get justice and stop future fraud raisers. We've been doing.
Somebody asked him to cover a community.
Okay.
Did you hear that? So I was like, oh, okay, let me go back. Hold up.
We realized that a group of scammers had been running a ring of fraudulent fundraisers, and that they had come and asked me to cover their community.
Did you guys come to him and ask him to cover the community?
Yeah, that's okay. So I want to know what names of the people, right? Can we get some receipts on this? I don't think that's the case. I think that he had always been following, Burnt Toast and others, and then found another community and said, you know what, these folks will look pretty tasty in my cult. You know what, let me just sort of, start working that angle. So that's what I think happened.
I agree with Drag because on the current situation, on July 11th, Uni started covering the Marvon story, but he was mirroring content of Katie Joy's at the time and had almost the same stance as Katie and Molly and certain things of that. I don't know who he was getting his information from, if the YBI was helping him with that, but he started off. And if you guys remember, July 11th was the day that Katie, Molly, it became a very big public fallout between all of them, just to kind of give current examples of the same situation. Now, this was a different one, but he kind of did the same thing. Sorry, my cat's in my closet throwing the door.
Let me hit play on this, yo.
What I didn't know when I went and covered their community was that they were doing all these fraud raisers. So we put together the YBI, which was a group of people that had been stolen from who wanted to help get justice and stop future fraud raisers. We've been doing it for a couple years now. With Molly, what happened, I covered, as you know, most of you watched and saw that I've covered the story of Dre. And I found out that there was a fundraiser, and immediately people started to tell me a couple nights ago that they were asked for refunds and got threatened and doxxed and talked down to and attacked. And we've been looking at it ever since. And I went and got help from the YBI a couple days ago.
Again, this clip that she's playing is from August 10th.
And they've been doing what they do, which is one power that these scammers have is that they go and do this, and then they just go and run to their channel. And like Leslie did, runs to her channel, ignores all of you, lies about me, and then tries to just do her normal thing and act like nothing happened. So what we do, Molly, she goes live, insults you, doxes you, puts you down. Like I just played the audio of her doxing one of you just now. And then they go and Molly will delete the video or put it on private or put it on member only. Like when she went live with D's Nuts was the name of the video, acting rude as hell and shit. And then just gets rid of the video later. What we do, I cover what's going on live as it happens.
We.
The YBI archives everything. They download the clips. They save everything. Then the YBI will go and find out where you have to report this stuff to so that they can get an investigation. Now, the last fundraiser.
So was the YBI aware? I mean, I don't if Navy Tech is part of the YBI and he's like, maybe it's still going on and y'all don't even know.
Because according to Menace, the band's broken up. They're not doing a reunion tour. So maybe you know what it could be.
You're just not in it anymore.
There's just a new group of people who have just stepped into that role, and they're calling themselves that. That's always possible. Probably less confident people, but people who are willing to swallow the Kool-Aid and just go along with it. So
And sadly, in the environment, we see it all the time. And again, nothing against the people who want to fit in, be a part of something, to help, to feel like they're making a difference in some way. Nothing against those people, but Uni uses the term we, like it's all him in a group of people. There's a lot of people around him that are very intelligent, capable people.
When did you leave the YBI? Like, when did you say,
me or Menace?
You.
Oh, I was never part of it.
You were never part of it.
My only association with it was through Nate. And so I had some of those fraud raisers I had inadvertently participated in promoting
Gotcha.
before I knew that.
Going.
And so it was me and a couple other people. One of the guys running the fraud, his girlfriend was a good friend of mine. And so
Gotcha.
we all sharing notes and stuff, give them over to YBI, let them collect it, and then we're providing context, timeline, dates, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm a tertiary member of the YBI, right? If that, I'm on the outskirts. Nate was actually working hand in hand and collaborating with them. And so that's how I sort of grew to know, Navy Tech, Menace, a whole bunch of other people who are actually doing diligent work. But this is interesting. I'm not really sure who he's referring to here.
Yeah, because and like I said, and to be fair, I've never heard Navy Techs or Menace, for that matter, even mention the YBI. I might have heard of them busting scammers before, but
Yeah.
I've never really, like I said, I was completely new to that.
I've never heard anybody besides Uni use the name YBI. Have you guys? Have you ever heard anybody else use it? Those of you that have been around for years, yes, you probably remember it from back in the day. But as of recent, in the last year, have you heard anybody else mention the YBI besides Uni?
Even being a term that was used.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't." Menace said, "Don't let drag fool you." He was undercover. He just didn't know it.
No, I was around for a lot of the stuff, but I kept Uni Rock at arm's length. I could only take so much of that. I like talking to Menace. I like talking to a few of the other guys, like independently, but talking to the patron deity himself, no, that was a struggle.
So it wasn't like the first shout out to Voices. First rule of YBI: you don't talk about the YBI. I mean, then if that's the case, Uni just effed up right now, because he's over here, letting everybody know he consulted with the YBI. I'm like, the YBI? Who the hell?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good collective, right? I mean, it's just like I said, everybody has their collective, right?
Yes.
Different streamers, and so it just so happens Uni Rock lucked up and just had the right mixture of people that wanted to do something good and that supported, what did Agrippa call him? The meth squirrel? Something. I think that's what a good friend of ours, Agrippa. I think that's his nickname for him is Meth Squirrel. But but yeah,
Wait.
but like, I mean, there's no better description. So
I'm going to give you guys a clip at the end of this. I'm going to let this go through of somewhere where I kind of think he might have gotten a little bit of that nickname from. And again, it's not, he said it's not because he uses that. It's just the name they came up with. But Uni's behavior used to be even more amped up than it is as of recent times, if you can believe that.
Yeah, he just lucked up.
I'll show it to you.
Unfortunately, he just ran afoul of way too many of them, I guess. And what's he doing now as far as support and who the YBI is or who it's comprised of? Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh my gosh. So, oh Lord, let me get these questions going. There was one that I understand, right? Then they said they were able to get a confession about a fraud raising situation here on YouTube. And did that have any legal like ramifications to it? Was there any follow through with that?
I'm not too sure, honestly. There was talk about what could and could not possibly happen. I did not follow up on it, and next time I talk to Nate, I'll ask him. But it's been a few years, so I mean that person faded into obscurity. We haven't seen them since, so they may have another moniker. I'm not online alias or whatever that I'm not familiar with, but I hadn't seen them since, and for good reason, right? One of the other guys who was just using donations for DoorDash and stuff, I hear he's still kicking around somewhere. So, who knows?
Wow.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely one of the it ended up being DoorDash and different little things. So
it's interesting because I think one thing you pointed this out, and I will probably support your statement, is that puny Uni Rock lies a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So would it be?
Pay attention here. This is the part that I really want to highlight.
Would it be out of this world to assume that,
hey, Latoya,
he would be willing to forge documentation, documents, or anything like that to suit a narrative?
it wouldn't be beyond his capability. I think that I haven't witnessed him do anything like that, but I think that he has.
It wouldn't be beyond his capability. I have not witnessed him do anything of that nature.
Such a big issue with addressing his inaccuracies and loose lips that he would probably put more effort into doing that rather than say, you know what, I was fucked up. You know, I was wrong. So it wouldn't be outside of his character, you know. But again, that's let me caveat. That's my speculation based on what little I know about the inner workings of the meth squirrel, also known as Uni Rock.
So let's be clear, he is not saying that he has proof that he has done this. He's just saying that it's not out of the realm of possibilities, basically. So again, he's not making an accusation that this is factual. He is saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility, basically. I agree with that very, very highly. But I also think that we've seen patterns of behavior of him not wanting to take accountability and getting himself further and further invested in his lies. They start as excuses to cover up misinformation, and then it turns into almost like blatant lies, and it just continues to go from there. That's problematic, in my opinion.
Ooh.
It spoke volumes.
Like after I was officially done with him after our one-on-one conversation.
How do you mind sharing a little bit about that? I mean, anything
so there's some things about that conversation that he shared with me that I will not state. But one of the biggest things that I brought up, I said, hey man, you know, creator to creator, you know, the love bombing thing. Like I'm great for romance, you know, sure, let's suck each other off. And so, but let's, you know, if you're going to put that out there, at least try and build some rapport with me outside of your streams and outside of your audiences and stuff.
This spoke highly to me too, because one thing I've noticed is everybody assumed that there was a relationship, a friendship between Uni and I, because of the way Uni would shout me out, use my content, things of that nature, because people that I was close to were close to his people. Now, I have to take it back, though, and recognize that the love bombing is strong within that group, but it doesn't come from Uni. It comes from the people around him, his supporters, his main Uni fam. That's who does the love bombing. That's who helped me get to 1,000 subs, like that, you know, all of those things. That's who he uses to do his love bombing. It helps to cultivate a new crowd, in my opinion.
If you're gonna do that to Nate and to Agrippa and all these other guys, like, because they see through you, bro. It's cringy, but whatever.
It is.
Nobody actually believes that we're friends. Oh, well, yeah, I'll drag. Yeah, they know it's just for the show. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to tell them that I don't like you. So, you know, so he kind of understood that, because I'm like, I'm just going to keep telling people that you're a fucking idiot, you know, because you say stupid things.
Amen to that.
Stupid and inaccurate things that are easily corrected. Oh, well, you know, it's just, you know. So I said, actually on that topic, I said, look, there are quite a few things, especially from the experiences that I've had with other creators at a certain event that happened in real life, that you just 100% got wrong. And then when a few people came to you, especially one of them dealing with a pretty serious topic, right? Like abuse. And so like you're attributing different things that happen and saying this person did this and that, like, I get it. Me and you don't like this person. That person that we have identified is a liar. They are an abusive sack of shit. But just arbitrarily like creating things to like pin on them, that's
arbitrarily creating things to pin on somebody.
You know, that's just shitty.
That
is, well, you know, he probably did it anyway. You know, I was just like, well, hey, wait, no, you know, just let's stop there. Let's stop there.
And this is where I question those people around him that co-signed the bullshit. Because if they know he's taking factual information and turning it into misinformation just to pin on somebody, and they're okay with that, that speaks volumes of them. It seems kind of like an old boys club to me in a way. And I'm not including Drag or any of I'm just talking about the ones that have been around him as of recent. It just feels like, in a way, they have to hold back and not call him out because it discredits their own freaking work. I don't know. It's so odd to me.
I'm paraphrasing the conversation.
But again, if you're willing to create a narrative to pin on somebody, maybe that explains more of the personal hatred between a bunch of these people around this situation. It would kind of make sense to me, wouldn't it to you? Reading between the lines here a little bit.
I said, look, I think we have enough dirt on somebody rather than to just be really loose with what we try to use to incriminate them for whatever it is that, you know, you're going to make up. And I said,
think of the current JLR story, for instance. That's one that, you know, that's where I was instantly thinking is you don't have to lie on the man. He's already done enough horrible things. You don't have to inflame, fabricate, add to, call him out on his behavior, the facts. It doesn't have to go any further. But Uni's a one-upper, and he constantly does that type of stuff. And then he pins, like the handwritten letter, for instance. That was so threatening. Come to find out it's a cease and desist.
it doesn't make you look better by just running off at the mouth with baseless speculation because you don't like someone and because, in your words, your audience can read between the lines. And that's actually the excuse that he gave me as to why he is just so loosey-goosey with the truth, is because he has conditioned his audience to understand that he's not going to be accurate. He's conditioned them to accept the fact that he's just going to make shit up. He's conditioned them not to ask questions.
He's conditioned his audience to know that he inflates things and they're okay with it. But as soon as you start pointing it out, guess who's the ones that come at you for calling it out? His audience too. It's not only useful to him to pass the narratives that he is trying to do, but it's also, as soon as he gets criticism on that information because he's misinformed people, they come in to double down on behalf of him. Like, oh God, this stuff just drives me nuts.
That's so dangerous, Drag, given that you're calling people out.
Yeah, and I said, how does it make you any better than these people who are making stuff up? Well, because we're on the side of right, and, we know it's right. And I said, you can know it's right, but if you ain't doing it right, what makes you any different? So, but oh, Drag, it's not that big of a deal.
What makes you any different? If you're co-signing the BS that he has done, in especially current time, of using women in their situations, in real life situations, constantly, time and time again, specifically Dre's situation, he didn't even think about how things could happen. And nobody, like, as soon as you started mentioning it, it was like, oh, no big deal kind of thing. It is a big deal, though. This is dangerous behavior.
He completely blew it off. The idea that he himself represented the very thing that he wanted to call out. There's no self-awareness. Uni Rach is going to say shit. His biggest, supporters aren't going to say shit. People, they're not going to tell him, like, look, bro, here's where I'm drawing the line. Right? And you don't have to, like everything every creator does. There's plenty of people who don't like the shit that I say and do, and that's fine. That's on them. But there is a certain point where, if you are being inaccurate, and consistently, and you don't care, right? That's the biggest thing. You can get stuff wrong all the time, but the fact that you don't care is what really stuck in my craw. And that's when I was officially done with Uni Rock. And
that's the piece too that I think people are missing. Like, Uni has been involved in some drama and some pieces here and there, that don't seem so big or as problematic. But Uni has also been involved in some things with some very serious allegations that were made. And come to find out, Uni was one of the people that provided, quote unquote, evidence for certain situations. And now I sit back and I go, not in the current, but just throughout history. And I'm like, there's issues here. There's so many issues.
Ever since then, it's just been a long line of, just different people sort of finding out that at the end of the day, Uni Rock's no better than the people that he reviews. Probably worse.
Absolutely.
And that comes it's interesting because people don't really realize, especially creators, like I get comments from his supporters all the time that will dance around the issues or try to excuse the behavior and don't really address or acknowledge the issue at hand. Did you confront that at all, or did you base that from when you said I'm done with this?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. That's like so there was I had faced that ever since I started interacting with Uni Rock, because I was pretty vocal about why I don't like him ever from the beginning. And since some of his, like, throughout the fraud raiser thing, our community, fan base, whatever, they started mixing and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. But they found out I'm not a part of the Kool-Aid drinkers. I'm not going to sit here and kiss his ass like y'all. And quite a few of them got mad. And I said that if that's what you thought this was, then you can go fuck off too. Like, I'm not here to pander to idiots and supplicants.
Say that, Drag.
And so that already was scorched earth between me and a whole lot of people. And from there, it only got worse.
Yeah.
And so when I would observe people, and occasionally I would pop up in his chat just to kind of see, it were different little games we would play. It was a tap out game. Who can listen to Uni Rock longest? Who can finish the Uni Rock stream? And so occasionally we would pop up. Oh, hey, Drag, my main man. Yeah, we'll game one day. Yeah. And so, I got tired of that. So I stopped saying anything in the chat, and I would just kind of watch. And there was one case in particular where I forget this chick's name. She had been around for a little bit. I think actually she was a member. And Uni Rock had gotten something just completely ass backwards.
Poor Rabbit.
On some topic, somebody that we sort of knew. And
Rabbit's face right here. God, she's beautiful. She looked so pretty last night, first of all, but just the faces she's making, like trying to keep a straight face and stay professional. This is why I leave all this type of good shit to Rabbit. I couldn't interview somebody. I would be like, she keeps it so straight face. God love Rabbit. She's
what ended up happening is this chick had said, "Hey, yeah, Uni Rock, you got this wrong. You gotta." Oh, there's a trope there. They're bringing in the tropes. We got a couple members on and block the chick. And I'm just like, whoa. And then I even said so. I said, hey, bro, that was one of your channel members. It wasn't just like the loads. Like, she had been around for a minute, and it wasn't anything inflammatory. It wasn't anything. Hey, fuck you, Unicup. Yeah. It wasn't anything like that.
That's what's happening current time too. Some of our mutual subs or subs that were initially his, even that became shared subs of ours, went over there since things have popped off and asked him reasonable questions, and he blocks people. He kicks them out of Discords just because they might at one point talk to me or show up in my chat. Not only that, but if they ask reasonable questions, it's you're a freaking troll. Oh, all these new troll names. No, these people have been in your chat time and time again, but that's a historical thing too.
It was very mundane. Hey, by the way, I don't think
oh my God,
that's actually how that happened. And he flips the fuck
Stargazer,
out. So,
she did.
That right there was really, 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 I would say a milestone with me as far as who he was as a person. And I try to give him a little bit of grace because I've been there as a creator. There's tons of idiots saying dumb shit, but he read the comment, and even people in the chat were like, hey, that was a channel. That wasn't a troll. That was a channel member. And he can't be corrected. Uni Rock is beyond reproach.
Yeah.
The Kool-Aid drinkers know in his cult that he is beyond reproach, and they know not to cross that line.
There was people that said, because I had called out the fraud raiser last year, and I had people in my comments who said, you don't know him. There's a reason why he does the things that he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are the excuses of cult members. Yeah. Because again, they're conditioned to do that. They're conditioned to feel sorry for him because, well, he's a meth squirrel. Well, that's just how Uni Rock is. Well, okay, cool. Well, I'm just me. Like, I'm an asshole, right? But I'm not beyond reproach. Right?
Drag, do you think he's okay? I know, and all shit aside, all right, I know we're making fun of this and everything, but is he a drug user? Is that what you say?
No, there's a reason he's like that, and I the story that I was given, I believe, but I don't think he's a drug user. I think there's just not. He's a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
Okay.
If you catch my drift.
No, I caught it. Yeah, I just want to kind of be. If people are saying he was a user, what?
If he was, that probably did fry his brain, but I think
that's something Uni himself has talked about, that he used to have a problem with pills or something of the nature. I'm not really sure exactly, but you can find that out of his own words on his stream. This isn't something that he has not talked about.
I've been around some drug users, and especially long term, that can definitely have an impact. But I think he's had some cage rattling too. that probably also contribute to it. Which, I mean, it happens. That's life.
Yeah.
But if you then can't be, if you're beyond reproach, right? It doesn't matter. Because it comes across as narcissism, as somebody said. It doesn't matter. Like, if you can't accept the fact that you're wrong about stuff and you don't care about the truth, then if he has enough mental acuity to make up stuff and to
call people out, right?
Call people out, yes. Then I don't really care how much drug and how often he's been doing it. That's still not an excuse.
And this is our opinion.
100% agreed, though. 100% agreed. And we don't know the truth of anything. He has a lot of different stories that seem to change over time, that he kind of inflates at times and then downplays at times, and it goes back and forth. So for all we know, he could be using, he could not be using, like, we just don't know.
He's been saying he's going to sue everybody. They're going to sue you, sue us. Everybody's going to get, this is an opinion. You don't sue people for their opinion. But hey, it is what it is. We'll fundraise for an attorney. I guess that's what we're going to do that.
Yeah. I'll wait for my little suit next to all the other ones I've been accumulating over the years.
I mean, you're famous. So somebody, I don't know if I should read this super chat because I don't know if it's, I'm sorry, Wilson. Are you okay if I read this?
Oh yeah, no, that's. I'm sorry. I've known him for years. Yeah, no.
Okay, he said even Drag's chair has gotten fatter.
I love Wilson. He's good. People.
I was like,
he's good people.
I was like, Wilson, you be nice to my guests, but I don't know what kind of relationship y'all have.
Wilson's
That's one big couch. I will say that, or chair.
I'm just. It's actually not this big. I'm just blown up through OBS. Oh. It's actually not that big, but yeah.
Oh my God!
Call my cat. Come here, baby.
Oh,
me kiss it.
That's so cute. So do you feel like you will ever put back together the YBI and get everybody going on?
You know what? If there is if the people from the old YBI were to contact me and to try and maybe do something good, I would work with them. It would have to be like not for Uni Rock, right? That's my biggest issue, because there would be no way that he would accurately depict anything that the hard work of those people, specifically people that I'm referring to, Menace and Navy Tech and others. I don't feel confident and comfortable to support Uni Rock in any way, shape, or form. But if they were doing something, then yeah, I would lend some resources. Absolutely.
So, in your opinion, do you feel like Uni Rock is not the person to be calling out anybody?
Oh hell no, he's the last person. The last person to call out somebody. If you are beyond reproach, you can't call out anybody. Just can't.
Yeah. You kind of have to wonder though, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but then the people that are surrounding him, because like I said, I respect a lot of. There's some people in there that I like. I like Navy. I like Menace. I like various creators that and some of his subs. They're really nice people, but you kind of have to wonder, like, have they also noticed this and kind of excused some of this stuff, or just felt like they couldn't call it out?
Yeah, I think that, and it's like we were talking about the other day. I think a part of it is that a lot of them are probably just really, really decent people, but they may not have a whole lot going on in real life, and so they've started to just really personally identify with Uni Rock and the Uni Rock fam, Uni fam, and all other kind of stuff.
The work that they do gives them value and worth. A lot of people, from my understanding, there's people that have medical issues. There's people who don't have a big family support, or they're disconnected in some way, shape, or form. So providing information and doing research and being a part of something like this gives some people worth. It's not as simple as it kind of sounds, and it seems so off base because it's the internet, right? But that's not the truth. People form very deep relationships. They want to be involved in something. They want to feel like they're doing something. And I can't shoot them in the foot for that. I mean, it is what it is.
And so,
but they're also
easily
manipulated.
They've personally started identifying with that. It's when you have a slight against Uni Rock, it's a slight against them. Right. And so I think that's part of what it is. And so that I definitely understand, because that's a little bit more complex, because I know that a lot of them are going to take offense to a lot of stuff that's said. But if you're excusing the guy that's beyond reproach, then you're going to get some backlash. It's going to happen. And there have been several people in Uni Rock's on campus say, "Yeah, you're just making shit up." So
But then they co-sign it because at the same time it discredits their hard work too. It's such a complicated situation.
Other people outside his camp that have identified the fact that he's making shit up. So like, what is then the excuse, right? Is that everyone just needs to drink the Kool-Aid, or I don't know what the solution should be, right, to satisfy everyone, other than everyone shut up and drink Kool-Aid.
No, Uni needs to be a man and take accountability for his actions and behaviors and stop putting it off on other people. And other people need to stop taking his bullshit so personally and making it a personal fight, because it's been such a personal fight with them and certain groups of people for so many years that that's all they know. As soon as you criticize anything, it's such a personal attack, and it's not. This is the internet for a lot of us, but it becomes very personal because it's a very personal, invested years and years and years that go way back with some of these people.
That's it. That's it.
She did.
I mean, that's how I picked it up. I noticed it last year, and I was like, some may write, and this is going to get people in trouble, or just the way in which he was handling himself. And now, I don't know how well aware you are about what's going on, but he has found himself in a situation or a lawsuit ship, I guess you would have to say, with a known litigious person. I guess you would say that, by the name of Jonathan Lee Ritchie's. There's a
JLR. Yes, I'm somewhat familiar with him.
He is, so this is the latest for those that are coming in, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this one too. But I guess he's also going to be adding the girlfriend, Puny Rach, into the lawsuit as well, and all these people, as she is somebody who is supporting him. Which, I mean, there's a lot of people that feel some type of way about this. But what do you think about this situation?
I'm not sure. Like, I know Uni Rach is out there, being the best promoter that she can for her man, and shout out to the chicks out there supporting their man thick and thin. But I'm not sure how she is, or why. I'm not sure why she's just being tied into this, other than being, his mate. I guess that's what I'm missing here. Unless she is out there on streams too, and she's out there saying,
Well, as we know, she was highly involved in the heels situation. That's kind of who blew that up. She takes to Twitter and says a whole lot of stuff. And she's also considered the producer, the go-between who kind of intercepts messages, I guess, on his behalf too. But I think that's how she's linked in, is because she claims to be the producer of the show.
Left, right, and center of all type of things about JLR, like herself. If she's not doing that, then she doesn't need to be included in there. But I've heard quite a bit about that gentleman, and so this doesn't surprise me. He just needs a target.
She is the producer. Says, here's the deal, yo. What the hell is a producer on YouTube?
So I'm doing my own Streamlabs OBS thing. There are some people who would rather, like, especially people that the advanced screens and they got the animations and stuff. You have a separate computer for that, and so you can just focus on the content. So yeah, that's what she does, and credit to her, because that actually, a good producer will make a show.
Gotcha.
But that's like, so you think about this, like Bernie Madoff, like the people who did HR for Bernie Madoff, should they go to jail too? Right? They help support the enterprise, right? So I don't, I think it's just silly to try it, but I've seen people do stuff like that because, well, you know what? This person is attached to them in real life. So
it's JLR, he's trolling the hell out of him and trying to do anything he wants. Unfortunately, we all kind of expected that because JLR is a liar and a pain in the ass. But Uni walked right into that, knocked on the door and said, "Here I am." I mean, you can't help but say that.
I go after them, then that'll do something.
I think where it becomes tricky, and I think that this is maybe for those, because I remember when Uni Rock would say, "If you want to contact me."
And by the way, as the producer of the show, doesn't she have power to go in and delete a video? So all that would have had to be done by either one of them was, once they got the cease and desist, saw what video it was for, either go in and take the adjustments that needed to be made or just take the video down. I mean, if she's got producer control, couldn't she have helped end this situation? Granted, I don't really know like the job description she has, if that's allowed or not. But I would have thought, simple solution too.
Right? Because it almost seems like such a hub, right? It's one thing to have, like you said, I don't know what a producer. I don't have a producer. I'm the producer. I'm the face. I'm the rabbit, right? I'm
Rabbit got fired for that statement, by the way, because Baby Bunny runs her show. That's the CEO of Rabbit's show, so she does have a producer.
I'm 1 and 1 in all. But where it becomes a little bit different, like Drag, if you're trying to contact me, or if a subby's trying to contact me, I'm not going to put another moderator. I guess it depends on the, how many emails I get to do the contacting, right? Or be the interface. It's almost like you're going to get that person in the mud, or that person could also somewhat get in trouble for the bullshit that he has pulled here.
So she's the point of contact for you, right?
I think she's one, as well as I think Navy was one at some point. I think both of them.
So when I got introduced to them, it was Navy and Cherie that were the points of contact for me. I've never had interaction with Uni Rock, but I think Uni Rock kind of has contact with a lot of the creators, or it just depends. I just went through Navy and Cherie myself personally, just to be clear.
I don't really know.
Yeah, that can get tricky then, because now she is sort of being inserted in there. Yeah, that I would have to think about that one. Yeah, because
right,
if it was just behind the scenes doing.
And Navy got lumped in because he's referred to as Uni's co-host also, but I don't know if he's. Hopefully that doesn't come about. I mean, I wouldn't see how JLR could do anything like that, but
stuff, then whatever. But if she's willingly a point of contact for him, and helping to put out some of the stuff that's considered slanderous, then yeah, she maybe she could definitely be held culpable for some of it.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, somehow if you're saying that so-and-so is a producer, or so-and-so is the point of contact for you,
I'll pull a rabbit on you guys. Shout out Baby Bunny. She's the producer, Rabbit. We've all decided. Give credit where credit's due.
And here you have a litigious person that's coming after you. Could they also add, say, someone like Navy Tech, or, you know what I'm saying? That it's like, we don't really think about the people that we put in there responsible for us, right?
Right.
Something
I think
to
that's a good point, because if these people are involved in, let's say, producing something that may be considered slanderous, then it's like, well, guess what?
Yeah,
you could be found culpable. So that is something to think about.
That's the other thing you got to think about. They were willing at first. Think about when he came out and first started lying. They all had his back. They all took up for him. Now, granted, we don't know if they saw a letter, if what he told them. I mean, he said he had a Discord call with them. We don't know what they actually knew or what they were informed of. But no matter what, at a certain point, they used trust that they had built in with me, or with Uni, in my opinion, to co-sign for this stuff. And it took time after time, and people really getting upset and saying, look, you're missing the point here, for them to ever even make movements. I don't know. I've got questions about a lot of that.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm not the superstar like Uni. I mean, I've never gone viral. I don't know anything about QAnon, Pizzagate. I guess he discovered those. Do you know anything about that?
He did. No, he did not.
He busted Pizzagate and QAnon.
That Pizzagate.
That's what he said.
My God.
Stop it.
Did he also create the internet too? And some folks would have to go, just stop, Uni Rock, stop.
Wait. I've been defrauded now by this misinformation. You mean to tell me that he didn't bust QAnon?
No, he did not. No, the super sleuth that is Uni Rock did not do that.
Not Pizzagate?
No. Well, there are plenty of people on Google Plus who also claim the very same thing. Very psychotic people. Oh my God. He's just, he'll say anything like this. I could see if it was a part of a shtick, right? That he just said, oh yeah, I did that. Of course, yeah. You know what? And it was a comedy act. And so like I would get it, but it's not. Like he's serious. And until you really go in and then go, oh well, I was just joking. You know, I just say things. So you know,
Nana
it's
L.
hard to tell.
Look at Nana in the comments over there.
Wait, he said that there's articles about him busting QAnon. That's not true. I will say this though. I did Google search QAnon and Uni Rock, and what they reference is that he made a coverage about it, but it never said that he busted something. You know what? Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and QAnon. And I won't keep you for too long here. I know you're a busy mad scientist over there.
Right.
Drag. Hold on. QAnon, Uni Rock. I know that there's been.
I'm looking it up now too.
Yeah, look it up. Here it is. It was NBC News. Let me share with y'all, okay? Because I mean, if he has some like brownie points to this situation, he should. I just Google searched it, and here it is. Let's see. I think I saw his name in here. I might need to do like a Command F.
Yeah,
Uni Rock.
now.
Here it is. Uni Rock.
Yep, some YouTube channels, like one named Uni Rock, are mostly dedicated to poring over Patriot soapbox live streams and dissecting purported slip-ups.
That doesn't say that he discovered that he busted anything.
Yeah, no, that's it's literally one line. It just says he's dedicated live streams to going over the slip-ups about Rogers and whoever the hell Rogers is.
There's a difference between first place and a participation award, guys. This would be the equivalent of a participation award. You know, the ribbon that everybody gets?
Yeah, that's pretty much what that's. I mean, but if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Participation reward. I was laughing so hard when she said that. I was like sitting there. I was like, wait, did she just give participation ribbons to everybody? She sure as hell did. Y'all get participation ribbons. Participation ribbons for everybody. Nobody gets left out.
Here, I guess.
Okay, you tell me, man.
You have to have some type of accomplishment in life.
Drag, I swear.
It's not like he's going to do anything of substance or really like contribute anything to society. So, I mean, if
he cracks me up, but in the same token right there, we've all said that this seems to be his existence. Like his YouTube channel for him is a lot more like that's who he is. That's this identity that he's built. That's all he's got at the end of the day. It feels like in certain facets besides his family and stuff, but he really like, that's really big in his life. Again, no shade. I'm just saying like, it's very obvious.
If that's, what he has to offer, then, kudos. Great. I mean, I now, evidently rescue cats. So, so
with a big couch.
Yes, and I have a big old couch to fit my big fat ass. So, I mean, that,
I can't with you. Drag, you are awesome. I appreciate you coming to my channel. I don't have any other questions for you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I will say that I have been talking to Bertos.
Oh, I love that girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she can get good fried bread recipe. But no, we've been talking about, maybe me doing true crime or something like that.
Ooh.
So.
Burnt toast, you won't see this, but I'm gonna have to bug you for your fry bread recipe too, because I love me some fry bread.
We need more men doing true crime. I'm just gonna say we need more people with integrity, especially males. They're always a hot commodity.
Yeah, what is it up with that? There is kind of a double standard out here, but I think Drake would do great with anything. He's personable, he's intelligent, he's funny. The ladies in the comment section say he's good to look at. I mean, he's kind of on the money about what he talks about. He don't bullshit. He's just straight to the point. That might be hard for some people, but I like it.
We just need it.
I think we do great.
Do it.
Yeah,
your little way, though.
I gotta do my research first. I can't be like you and Rock and just go on this stuff and go, oh yeah, Burnt Toast is my sister. Oh my God, we would paint each other's nails and we would share notes and just I gotta do everything. Oh my God. No.
I can't, man. We love Burnt Toast. All right, guys, I have to let you go because I got my producer, the CEO, Baby Bunny over there, is bugging, so I got to go tend to her. But thank you so much, Drag, for coming, and I appreciate you guys. Drag's information is
all right. There is that. She actually shouted out the CEO. Let me switch it around here. We're not going to really watch much of this. We'll get into it more tomorrow. But I want to take it back a stream because this one was really interesting to me. So this is from August 20th of 2021. So we're taking it back 2 years, actually, for this.
Just started, right? School just started.
I'm picking up at the 9-minute mark on this video.
And of course, that makes all of us parents really busy, hustling around, doing what we got to do, getting.
One thing I did want to point out too is for this horrible shoulder injury that he's had to have operated on, I don't see any scars. Granted, they could be on the back and I just might, it might be a filter or something, but that was one thing that I noticed in this tank top, that I didn't see any scars. Again, not saying he doesn't have injuries. It was just something that I noticed right off the bat.
Stuff together. And I've been like running around like a chicken with my damn head.
Oh, Dreg's great. That was a
wrong one, busy.
I forgot to do this. Huge shout out to Rabbit from Down the Rabbit Hole News. Y'all know I appreciate and have so much respect for her. Please go give her a thumbs up, some love, all of the things that you guys normally do. Rabbit is got integrity above so many out here, and I have nothing but respect for her. And a huge shout out for her letting me play her content and go over it, because I think there was just a lot of that people didn't quite catch or realize, like, these are the same things. It's just a different group of people. The same exact things that we're seeing today, unfortunately, but a different group of people. But thank you for Rabbit and Drake for doing that interview. That was amazing. Gave me a lot of like history, and I think everybody else too that missed it. And no, 99% of the people on the 99.9% of the internet does not know what the YBI is, nor are they a part of it. That was one thing I took away too. We're only going to listen to a few of this, but this was a totally different side of him that I wasn't used to seeing.
See? There you go. So I haven't been able to do as many live streams, and I'm trying to flip-flop my schedule. So
really?
It's really crazy that I'm even going live right now.
Thank you for correcting me on that. So he might have a scar. It's just hidden. I always thought, like, when it was just weird. I just didn't notice the scar, and I was like, that was for that massive of a surgery. But that would make sense if it's under here. Thank you.
I wasn't going to go live. I was going to just chill and upload a video, but I'm actually spending too much time working on these videos, organizing them, outlining them. So I said to myself, I'm going to go live tonight because it's the weekend. It's Friday, so I don't have to worry about being up tomorrow. And, I want to make sure that the videos I put out capture everything so that we can just move on to stage. Did I say 2 or 3? I think I said it was 3. Stage 3, right? Yeah, stage 1 is over. That was him and the Kyle and him situation. And then stage 2 was KJP up to the NDA a year later event. And then stage 3, of course, we thought there wouldn't be a stage 3 to this stupid story. We were all hunkering down, getting ready to close this out, when all of a sudden,
thank you, Shiloh, for
Steb sued KJ. That was a really good musical overlay, dude. That sounded great. So for those of you that don't know, you have to by now. The internet has been rocked and shocked robots over Steve McRae suing Katie Joy Paulson. And I know what a lot of you are going to say. How does somebody who signed an RO that restrained him from talking about her, thus admitting he harassed her enough to fear trying to fight the evidence of the RO in court by not going to the actual hearing, how do they sue Katie? It's like he was waiting for the NDA to expire to sue Katie. But then you've got these people out there making videos about this, and they're acting like there was no harassment. And it's really not up for debate. Factually speaking, the other side is going to go out and say that there was no harassment. Now, there was harassment. And instead of him then coming forward and saying, I didn't do it, here's what really happened, he thinks, just like he does right now, that he can just not say shit and dictate that everybody must just believe him on face value, trust that he didn't do this or didn't do that, right?
The irony in all of the statements from almost 2 years ago is just ironic. And he does the same things still today, because whatever has happened between him and a certain group of people is so personal. But I've got questions now. I've got major questions after listening to so many of these pieces of things and kind of the history, because I could never quite put a finger on why this group of people hates each other so badly. Well,
when really there's a common denominator, since he wants to do he likes doing math streams. So we'll just say there's a common denominator in the situations where doxings occur, stalking, cyber stalking, all this stuff. And the common denominator was Steve McRae. In fact, I don't even have to show you guys the video clips of him doxing people,
I don't even have to show you video clips. I don't have to show you these things. I can just say them and people will believe it's true.
harassing people. It will get me age restricted again. It'll get my video age restricted if I let him talk. So, you know, the fact that I get age restricted, thank you, Leslie. The fact that I get age restricted when I let his clips play of what he said towards KJP is enough. Okay.
Now, I'm not sticking up for anybody in this situation. I think they're all about the same, but there's a lot of questions that I have here too that I might reach out to one or two of you and ask you, because I would love to see the proof of what actually was said back then.
Not only that, KJP came out on Twitter and finally started having people go through his older live streams. Now, a lot of those live streams, KJP knows nothing about them because she didn't watch them. How could she? Nobody could. It takes a lot of time to be able to do that shit.
Seems very similar to when he came out batting for Katie in this whole situation. Granted, again, she wasn't responsible for the whole fallout. She played a role in the Marvon story, of course. We all watched it. But there's just so many questions.
Though there are people on the internet who finally are sitting down going through those old live streams that he did towards her, and they found some gems. They found some hidden step gems. And those hidden step gems are fucked up, Chuck. Like, there's another video of him admitting that he did say this stuff to KJP.
Pay attention.
And just us talking about this, according to them, makes us pieces of shit. It makes us harassers. Us talking about what they have publicly put out, us examining those old clips and the old videos and what happened, the old screenshots, the old tweets, these public things. If we look at those public things and draw an opinion about it that a cult leader doesn't like, we, of course, are not even humans anymore. Literally. Because they tell people not to watch our content. They tell people that we do this, that, this, and that, and this all the time, right?
Is he talking about himself? Because, man, it sounds like a page out of his playbook as of recent.
But in reality, they don't have clips of this stuff. They don't have evidence for any of it. And they will literally tell you they've got secret evidence, though they never show it. So what we would be doing is taking the cherry-picked clip they grabbed of me or someone else or Nate the lawyer, and I
cherry-picked clips. He's been using that statement and that phrase as of a couple days ago again, trying to say that, oh, they just cherry-picked clips about me. Again, 2 years ago almost, this video was done.
play it and show you what I said. Because what they have done in the past until it started backfiring in their face, like I said the other day, they like to cherry pick clips. I explained how they did that to Drag and Nate for a while, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is this is stupid.
Once again, name dropping people.
The story's over. They don't like that the story's over. And now they're trying to go full circle. In fact, busy, wake up. Why are you past?
Let's be honest. I appreciate you so much. Right there. Right there. There was factual basis to some of the claims and some of the things that were brought out, but he intensified it and made some of it misinformation. I was kind of wondering about that. I'm sure there's a lot about that. And again, not my circus, not my whatever, but there's just so many pieces of this that I sit back and go, oof.
Sit out in your chair. You're not becoming a barber. You're not. I'm not going to have you turn into Busy the Barber. It doesn't go with my brand in any way, shape, or form. Why do you want to be a barber anyway? Oh, okay. I like that idea. I like that idea. Oh, good point. If Busy would have cut her hair, she wouldn't have been one blonde hair dye away from a full Karen transition. She would have gotten the blonde hair dye at Busy's Barbershop. So Busy, you know what? I think you're correct. You should start a barbershop. You think you will? Well, great. Well, great. You can cut my bandanas for me, right? You're supposed to let the facts.
Hold on. We're going to fast forward because I can't take that BS.
Cults fighting other YouTubers. It's not easy tracking all of that information. Luckily for us, it's all public. We get up here and talk about all that public stuff, and we have a good time doing it. So
hold on.
Oh, good point. If Busy would have cut her hair, she wouldn't have been one blonde.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. I got to find that spot right where I want it. Okay. Sorry. Here.
Oh, man.
Listen to this.
You know, sometimes I'll go back and watch my live streams. Yeah. I did this live stream about how they were a cult, and I went back and watched it, and damn, did we just knock it out of the park, man. Like straight home run. You know, it's not easy being a YouTuber who investigates other YouTubers who have formed into cults fighting other YouTubers. It's not easy tracking all of that information.
Wait, so he tracked cults before? This mofo tracked cults. Shocker.
Luckily for us, it's all public. We get up here and talk about all that public stuff, and we have a good time doing it. So as much as I'd like to be able to entertain the other side's stupid arguments with this, they have gotten to the point where they just lie. And here's one thing. We know that Nate was challenged. Nate's the one that challenged Intrigued Feline to a debate. Now, if you don't know who Intrigued Feline is, basically one of Steve's most, I'd say, deceptive and programmed sheeple that he has following him. Intrigued Feline will go anywhere from a live chat over to anyone who he tells Intrigued Feline to go if he's wanting them to go support somebody else, right? Right before that dude starts doxing, harassing, and threatening people in real life, then he'll have Intrigued Feline there and, simping up towards them and just doing all of his dirty work, spreading all the narratives. So Nate, of course, puts out the proof that it was a real RO, that it was a real NDA. The NDA, if you read it, literally restrains him in the same way the RO did. Therefore, you're going to have a hard time in court doing this. And because they don't like that the facts are put out there so that people see, when you have arguments and discussions,
once again, using Nate's credibility, Nate breaking down the actual facts of what was going on.
You're supposed to do them while looking at the facts. You're supposed to let the facts dictate what you talk about. So what do these guys do?
You're supposed to let the facts dictate. Come on, Uni. How did we get here? That's all I got to know. I'm going to end it there, though, because I want to keep this a little bit shorter. We're going to finish up with that one tomorrow because I've got questions. I've got a lot of questions. Yeah, there are so many things. But again, thank you to Rabbit and Drake for doing that interview. We're going to get into that one a little bit tomorrow. I actually want to talk about some of this. There's some interesting pieces of that video that stand out to me and create questions in my head because I just have a feeling that there has been a lot of misinformation spread on a lot of people that created some of this issue to begin with. Wow. I didn't know that that's what they did. I didn't know that. See, I don't even do that. There's some absolutely, let's be honest. Where'd my bird go? Me and my props over here, but I was like, he's got a whole thing he talks to. This live that we're going to pause until tomorrow because I want to keep it shorter is mind-blowing, y'all. Mind-blowing. Again, the clips that Rabbit played in her video were from August 10th, 2022. That one that I just played, let me tell you the date on it again, just in case you guys want to go look. August 20th, 2021. They tried to cancel me. It backfired massively. LOL suit update. KJP says Hackster caught. That's the title of it. thank you guys for joining me. Again, thank you all for being here, hanging out, being so respectful in the comments. The comment section over here is always amazing. You guys are great. Tomorrow we're going to pick up on high control groups, and we're also going to do a little bit more, you know, looking into that, because it's interesting to me how he hates when people use his own words against him. But it's the facts. The facts are the facts. Hey, Mercedes. Yeah, this is crazy, crazy, crazy. And again, thank you for the time you guys spent with me tonight. Make sure you go give Rabbit some love, sub up to her. Burnt Toast is live. Who else is live? I don't know who else is live. Puny Rock's live, I guess, probably. Hey, Rockabit. Shiloh, thank you. I know. Sheila, I know. There's one part that I want to get to about Uni's behavior that showed me so much. You said he likes CBD in the comments earlier. He actually, I didn't even know he was a fan of CBD, but it cracked me up. But this one, like the way he talks is almost identical to the same things he says now. It's just different people. It's almost like same script, just new names added to it. Does that make sense? Like, it's the same thing. It's so crazy. Wash, rinse, repeat. Yeah, I agree with you. It's absolutely like it does. It definitely does bring up more questions and stuff. But oh, of course. Yeah, of course he did. It's totally okay. Totally fine. All right. Good night, y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me.